Hello everyone, Ryan here. I just listened to audiobook version of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's actually very, very well acted. I mean, it had pretty much like a full cast. It was actually, I guess, the BBC radio version, which I guess some time ago they did this like radio broadcast of The Hobbit, and so they had different actors for each different character. But I'm also pretty sure like it's possible that like they had each actor doing more than one voice. So and then of course they also used they had a bunch of different sound effects. Also they kind of like changed the pitch of their voices in order to, I guess, distinguish between each character. So it actually kind of sounded funny though, like I mean, for the actor that did the voice of the Hobbit, like they changed the pitch of his voice so it was a little higher. But then there were other characters where they changed the pitch like so high, like I was like, it came off as kind of annoying to me. And of course, I mean, I had kind of read the book The Hobbit once before, like sometime in high school, and don't really remember it. The only reason I'm familiar with it is because of those movies that Peter Jackson did. The same guy that did the Lord of the Rings movies. But except in those movies, like I know, like in Peter Jackson's version of The Hobbits, he added all this extra stuff, pretty much in order so that he could stretch it out into 3 movies. Because then in this, in The Hobbit, at least in this audiobook that I listened to, it seemed relatively short. I mean, it still had like the basic stuff in it. Like at the beginning is pretty much the same. Gandalf, the wizard, he goes and visits Bilbo Baggins, and then all of a sudden, like he, in this he like explains to him something about going on a journey, and then eventually all these dwarves show up. And they eat out like a bunch of food. They pretty much eat all of Bilbo Baggins' food, and then eventually, they start talking about going to this mountain, I guess, where this dragon lives. The dragon was called Smog or Smog or Smaug. I swear, I think in this audiobook it was like each character pronounced different names and different words in their own way. Like even with Gandalf, in the beginning, like he introduces himself, and he pronounces his name as Gandalf. Gandalf, like he said, "Hello, I am Gandalf." And then, but then, like halfway through the story, everybody just starts calling him Gandalf. And I don't know if there's an actual reason for that. Like, I don't know if that is actually noticeable in the actual novel, or if it's just, for whatever reason, these actors decided to mess with the... What's the word? They decided to mess with the pronunciation of different words and names. I don't... Possibly, I don't know. I guess I will say, like, there's only like maybe a couple parts in this that I actually enjoyed listening to. Not that, it just, I mean, it doesn't suck. But there's the one part where, of course, they come upon these goblins, and they're almost eaten by the goblins. I just found that part really engaging, but also too because I remember that scene from the movie, The Hobbit, of course, Peter Jackson's version. I remember that scene because I remember it being like one of the best CGI scenes for me that I've seen. So while I was listening to that part of this audiobook, I was imagining that. So, and then the other part, of course, I liked when Bilbo Baggins, he meets Gollum, and the guy who does the precious thing, my precious, and that's another scene too that I remember from the movie. Except in this, at least in the audiobook, it was acted differently, and I don't know. And the actor who did the voice for Gollum, he did it in like a much more intense, creepy kind of way. It's like a very like he almost sounded more like some kind of reptile being, or and it came off just very, very creepy. But then I guess technically that is Gollum. Gollum is creepy and all that. But except from the movies, like in the Lord of the Rings and in the Hobbit, like I don't remember Gollum coming off that creepy. At least for me, I don't. And then of course, like Bilbo and Gollum, they play that game where they pose a riddle to each other, and I remember that in the movie too. And except then in this one, like it's kind of different because then Bilbo he acquires that ring, the precious ring, the ring that makes people invisible. He acquires it like in a slightly different way, and I don't know. I guess maybe like I ended up like not really paying that much attention to that point because I was like still focused on I was still saying to myself like, why does Gollum sound so intense and so creepy? Like, but yeah, overall, I'd give this like at least 4 stars, 4.5 at the most. Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, I think it kind of makes sense that Peter Jackson, when he did the movies, it makes sense that he added different stuff in it, not just to stretch it out into 3 movies, but also to kind of like add a variety of different things. So, because in this, granted, I know the novel itself, and then the audiobook is supposed to be based on the novel. I don't know, unless they took a lot of liberties with it, but yeah, the way it ends, like, I didn't really like how it ended that much. It was just like, yeah, okay, we slayed the dragon, blah, 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 and we'll see you later, Bilbo, and and then eventually, like, later on, then Bilbo finds out, yeah, a little bit of, how the dwarves are doing, and but then that's it, and then the rest of the audiobook, like, they just play all the music at the end, because I guess it has like an original soundtrack or something, which is interesting music. I don't know, I don't even know what genre it is, like, folksy, folklore, medieval kind of. I don't know. I've never even really like heard that kind of music before. I mean, except maybe like in movies or something. I don't know. To me, it sounded like medieval kind of music. So yeah, again, I go 4 out of 5 stars, 4.5 at the most. So yeah, let me know if you read The Hobbit 2, if you liked it also, or didn't like it, or yeah. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.